Life is a dance between energies, an eternal balance of forces that complement, challenge, and complete one another. Just as day cannot exist without night, a man cannot fully understand his own depth without the presence of a woman who embodies certain qualities. There are many things that make a woman unique, but there is one quality that can captivate a man's heart in a way nothing else can. Compassion, in its truest form, is not simply an emotion that arises when we witness someone else's pain or struggle. It is the profound ability to feel, to understand, and to share in another's experience as if it were your own. It goes beyond the surface level empathy we often practice in our daily lives. True compassion delves into the very fabric of our being, connecting us not only to the one who suffers, but to the world as a whole. And when a woman embodies this depth of compassion, it is not just about offering help when someone is in need. It is a way of living, an energy that flows through everything she does. She can sense the unspoken hurt in another person's eyes, the subtle changes in someone's voice, or the invisible weight that someone carries in silence. Her compassion is not just directed outward, it also reaches inward, as she understands that to truly help others, she must first understand her own pain, her own vulnerabilities, and her own human experience. This deep compassion arises from a place of profound understanding that the joys and the sufferings of life are not isolated incidents, but interconnected, shared experiences that bind us all together. It is an awareness that no one is truly separate from another, that every life is a reflection of the same universal energy. With this perspective, compassion becomes a natural response to the world, an intuitive knowing that suffering is not to be ignored but embraced and alleviated. Such a woman does not only give to others what they need in moments of hardship. She offers a safe space, a sense of belonging, where others can be seen and heard, where they can show their true selves without fear of judgment or rejection. Her compassion is not a temporary fix for a moment of difficulty. It is a continuous, steady presence that nourishes, heals, and uplifts. She listens with her whole being, without the need for immediate solutions or words of comfort. Sometimes her presence alone is enough, for in that silence a person feels understood. This level of compassion, this depth of care and attention is not easily shaken. It comes from a place of inner peace and maturity, knowing that one's own worth is not tied to external validation or recognition, but is grounded in the ability to truly be with another's experience, to walk beside them as equals in their journey. For a man, encountering such a woman is like encountering a force of nature, a calm, steady presence that not only comforts but also inspires him to be more connected, more present, and more attuned to the world around him. It is this rare and deep compassion that makes a woman unforgettable. It is not fleeting or conditional, but eternal. It transcends the surface and touches the heart of the matter. When a man meets a woman who embodies such compassion, he sees in her not just a caretaker or an empath, but a reflection of the boundless, unconditional love that exists within all of us, waiting to be expressed. And once he has witnessed such compassion, he knows in the deepest part of his soul that such a woman cannot be forgotten, for her presence has made an indelible mark on his heart. Yet selflessness in its truest form is not about giving up oneself or losing one's identity for the sake of others. It is not about the martyrdom that many associate with the word, nor is it a continual state of self-sacrifice where one's own needs and desires are constantly set aside for the benefit of others. True selflessness is the ability to give, to share, and to serve others with an open heart without compromising one's sense of self or well-being. It is a delicate dance between love and autonomy, between care for others and care for oneself. When a woman embodies this quality of selflessness without sacrifice, she finds the balance between giving freely to others and staying true to her own needs, desires, and values. She offers her time, her energy, and her heart without expectation of anything in return, but in a way that nurtures her spirit as much as it nurtures those around her. She understands that her ability to give to others is rooted in her ability to honor her own essence. She does not pour from an empty cup, nor does she lose herself in her relationships and obligations. Rather, her selflessness flows from a place of abundance and inner peace. In practice, this means she recognizes the importance of setting healthy boundaries. She is not afraid to say no when something does not serve her, and she does not feel guilty for taking time for herself. She knows that by nurturing her own body, mind, and soul, she is better able to give to others, to offer them the best of who she is. This is not a selfish act, but an act of deep wisdom, for only when she is whole can she truly share her gifts with the world. Such a woman's selflessness is not a forced obligation, nor does it come from a sense of duty that weighs her down. It arises from a genuine love for life and a deep appreciation for the interconnectedness of all beings. She serves because she chooses to, because it is a natural extension of her love for herself and the world around her. She sees that when one person rises, we all rise together, and in this truth, she finds fulfillment in helping others stand tall. Her selflessness is rooted in compassion, but it is not about rescuing others or carrying their burdens for them. Instead, it is about empowering them to stand on their own, to discover their own strengths and abilities. She lifts others up not by doing everything for them, but by supporting them in discovering their own power. Her selflessness is not a diminishment of her own self-worth. Rather, it is an amplification of her inner strength. She gives not to prove anything, but because she understands the profound impact of sharing love, kindness, and care with the world. This selflessness creates a ripple effect. Those who are touched by her presence and her actions feel not only the gift of her support, but also the invitation to cultivate their own selflessness in return. There is no sense of competition, no expectation of reciprocity. Instead, there is an understanding that when one person acts from a place of love and genuine care, it inspires others to do the same. It is a collective act of kindness and giving, a web of interconnectedness where no one is left behind and no one feels depleted. For a man, encountering a woman with this quality is both inspiring and humbling. He sees in her not just someone who is there for others, but someone who knows how to preserve and honor her own spirit while she gives. She is a reminder that true love does not require sacrifice. It requires a deep understanding of the importance of self-respect, self-love, and balance. She does not demand anything from anyone because she understands that love, in its purest form, flows freely, without expectations or conditions. And once a man has experienced this, he understands that such a woman is not just rare, she is a treasure that he will never let go of, for she embodies the very essence of love in its most authentic, unselfish, and yet abundant form. Inner strength and resilience are qualities that are not simply born in a person. They are forged through life's experiences, through moments of adversity, and through the deep-rooted understanding that life, in its essence, is both a challenge and a gift. These qualities come from a place beyond mere survival. They arise from the ability to face difficulty without being shattered by it, to remain unwavering in the face of uncertainty, and to find a way to rise even when the world around seems to be falling apart. When a woman carries inner strength and resilience, she does not display it in outward displays of force or dominance. It is not about fighting battles loudly or aggressively. Instead, her strength is quiet, steady, and unshakable. It is the strength to face her fears, to acknowledge her weaknesses, and to confront her own pain without allowing it to consume her. It is the strength to keep moving forward even when the road ahead is unclear, and the resilience to bounce back from failure, from heartbreak, and from loss without losing her essence. This strength comes from deep within, a sense of knowing that no matter what happens, she can endure. She may bend, she may break for a moment, but she will never be defeated. It is a quiet determination that flows through her, not born of pride or ego, but from a place of deep self-awareness and acceptance. She understands that life is not about avoiding hardship, but about meeting each challenge with grace and wisdom, knowing that every experience, every obstacle is an opportunity for growth. Resilience is not about avoiding pain. It is about learning to navigate it with an open heart and an unbroken spirit. A woman with resilience does not suppress her emotions or deny the realities of life. She feels deeply, she grieves, she mourns, and she experiences all of the highs and lows that come with being human. Yet through it all, she never loses her sense of self. She doesn't let life's hardships define her. Instead, she allows them to refine her, to teach her something new about her own capacity to endure and to heal. Her resilience is not simply about bouncing back to what she was before, but about becoming stronger, wiser, and more grounded in who she is with each trial. Each challenge she faces becomes an opportunity to expand her strength, to deepen her understanding of herself and the world around her. She knows that resilience is not a one-time act. It is a continual process of rising again and again, of meeting each new chapter of life with an open mind and a willing heart. For a man, encountering such a woman is nothing short of awe-inspiring. He sees in her a strength that is not boastful, but deeply rooted in humility. She is not afraid to show vulnerability, for she understands that true strength comes from embracing all parts of oneself, both the light and the dark. It is her vulnerability that makes her even stronger, as it reveals her humanity and her ability to endure, to rise, and to continue on her path with unwavering resolve. Such a woman does not need anyone to rescue her. She knows that her true power lies in her ability to stand tall in the face of adversity, to remain centered even when the world around her feels like it is spinning out of control. Her strength is not about controlling others or her circumstances, but about maintaining her peace and composure, regardless of what happens outside of her. She has learned the art of surrender, knowing that true power comes from within, from the ability to remain rooted in the face of the fiercest storms. her rear view. This resilience is a beacon for those around her, especially for the man who stands by her side. He learns through her example that true strength is not about being invulnerable, but about accepting vulnerability and moving forward with it as part of one's journey. He sees that resilience is not a trait to be admired from afar, but a quality that is embodied in the way she lives, in the way she responds to life's inevitable struggles. Unwavering authenticity is not something that can be faked or cultivated overnight. It is a way of being that arises from the deepest corners of the soul, a commitment to living life as one truly is, without compromise or pretense. To be truly authentic means to strip away the masks, the roles that society asks us to play, and the expectations we place upon ourselves or that others impose upon us. It means shedding the layers that obscure our essence and standing fully in the truth of who we are, regardless of what others may think or how the world may judge. A woman who embodies unwavering authenticity is a rare soul in a world full of imitation and superficiality. She does not change herself to fit into any mold, nor does she seek approval from others to validate her worth. She knows that her worth comes from within, from the very core of her being. This authenticity is not an arrogance or a defiance, but a quiet confidence that flows from knowing her own truth. Yugino also invites us to share our convictions with the world to help improve men and women in all areas of life. She is not concerned with being liked or accepted by everyone because she understands that true acceptance comes from the recognition of one's own value, not from the approval of others. Her authenticity is reflected in everything she does. It is seen in the way she speaks, the way she carries herself, and the way she interacts with others. She does not wear different faces for different people. What you see is what you get. There is no effort to pretend, to hide behind a facade, or to fit into a role that isn't truly hers. She is not bound by the expectations of the world. She creates her own path, her own way of being. End of her decisions, her actions, and her words align with her inner values, and there is a consistency in her being that is rare and deeply attractive. Living with unwavering authenticity is not always easy, for it requires immense courage. It is far simpler to conform, to wear a mask that pleases others, or to live in the shadows of societal expectations. But this woman does not take the easy route. She is willing to face the discomfort that comes with living authentically, knowing that the reward of staying true to herself far outweighs any temporary comfort she might gain from pretending to be someone she is not. She understands that authenticity requires vulnerability, the willingness to be seen in all her imperfection and rawness. But in this vulnerability lies her power. Because when she is truly herself, she does not need anyone else's validation to feel whole. This unwavering authenticity creates an aura of trustworthiness and integrity. People are drawn to her because they sense that she is real, that she will never deceive, manipulate, or hide her true intentions. Her word is her bond. There is no pretense, no hidden agenda. She does not change herself to please others, but in doing so, she creates a space where others feel safe to be authentic as well. She inspires those around her to be true to themselves because they can see the beauty and strength that comes from living in alignment with one's true nature. In relationships, this authenticity brings a depth that is unparalleled. She does not engage in games or subtle manipulations. She is open, honest, and transparent about her feelings, her needs, and her desires. What she says is what she means, and her actions match her words. She does not need to hide her emotions or pretend to be something she is not. This level of honesty creates an environment where others feel safe to be their true selves as well, fostering genuine connections that are built on mutual respect and understanding. Authenticity also means embracing all parts of herself, not just the polished, perfect aspects that the world may admire, but also the flaws, the scars, and the vulnerabilities that make her human. She does not shy away from the parts of herself that may be considered imperfect by society's standards. In fact, she embraces them fully, knowing that they are an integral part of her journey. She is not interested in being flawless or meeting an unrealistic standard. She is focused on being real, being genuine, and being true to who she is in each and every moment. Her unwavering authenticity is not about being rigid or unyielding, but about staying grounded in her core values and beliefs, no matter what the circumstances may be. She is not swayed by external pressures or the opinions of others. While she remains open to growth, learning, and self-improvement, she does not do so at the cost of her true self. She knows that authenticity is not about perfection, but about being honest and aligned with her own heart. Her authenticity is a reflection of her inner strength, for it takes courage to stand firm in your truth in a world that often tries to make you conform. And it is this authenticity that leaves a lasting impact on those who encounter it. When a man meets a woman who is unwavering in her authenticity, he is not only drawn to her for her genuine nature, but also inspired to embrace his own truth. She does not need to convince him of her worth, for it is already evident in the way she lives. Her authenticity is a mirror that reflects back to him the beauty of living honestly, of being unapologetically oneself, and of having the courage to step into the fullness of who we are meant to be. Wisdom beyond years is a rare and precious gift that transcends the accumulation of knowledge, facts, and experiences. It is not something that comes merely with age or time, but rather a deep understanding of life, human nature, and the intricate balance between the external world and inner being. It is an intuitive knowing, an insight that reaches beyond the surface of things to perceive the deeper truths that guide existence. This kind of wisdom cannot be taught through books or lessons. It is born from within, from a life lived with awareness, reflection, and a willingness to embrace both the light and the shadow of the human experience. A woman who carries wisdom beyond her years is not someone who boasts of her knowledge or tries to assert her superiority over others. She does not seek attention or approval for the depth of her understanding. Instead, her wisdom is quiet and unassuming. It is the kind of wisdom that is felt in the presence of her being, in the way she listens more than she speaks, in the way her eyes see beyond the surface of things, and in the way her actions reflect an inner peace and clarity that many might seek but few truly possess. Her wisdom is rooted in self-awareness and acceptance. She understands the nature of the world, the impermanence of everything, and the inevitability of change. She has seen the cycles of life, the joys, the heartaches, the successes, and the failures. And she has learned to navigate them all with grace and equanimity. She does not resist change or fight against the flow of life. Instead, she adapts, she learns, and she grows, understanding that every experience, no matter how difficult, carries with it valuable lessons that contribute to her inner evolution. This wisdom goes hand in hand with compassion and patience. A woman with wisdom beyond her years is not quick to judge or make assumptions about others. She has a deep understanding of human nature and the complexities of the human condition. She knows that each person is on their own journey, carrying their own burdens, and that everyone is doing the best they can with the knowledge and experiences they have. She is slow to anger and quick to forgive, for she understands that harboring resentment only weighs the heart down. Her wisdom allows her to see the bigger picture, to understand that people are not defined by their mistakes or shortcomings, but by their potential for growth and transformation. Her wisdom also brings with it a profound sense of inner peace. She is not easily rattled by the chaos of the world, nor does she become overwhelmed by the challenges that life presents. She knows that peace comes from within, and that external circumstances can never truly disturb her unless she allows them to. This inner peace is not the absence of conflict or difficulty, but the ability to maintain calm and clarity even in the face of adversity. She has learned to find stillness in the midst of the storm, to listen to the quiet voice within that guides her through life's uncertainties. A woman with wisdom beyond her years also understands the importance of balance. She knows that life is not about extremes, but about harmony. She has learned to balance her responsibilities with her need for rest, her desire to give to others with the necessity of taking care of herself, and her ambitions with the importance of living in the present moment. She understands that true wisdom is not about seeking more or striving to achieve, but about being content with what is and finding fulfillment in the here and now. She knows that happiness does not come from external achievements, but from the simple pleasures of life: love, connection, peace, and presence. Her wisdom is reflected in the way she treats others. She does not seek to control or manipulate, but instead fosters an environment of mutual respect and understanding. She knows that true leadership comes from the ability to empower others, to help them discover their own strength, and to guide them gently without force or caution. She leads by example, not by dictating what others should do. Her presence is enough to inspire those around her, for they can see the depth of her understanding and the quiet power that comes from living in alignment with one's truth. This wisdom is also deeply connected to the heart. It is not just an intellectual understanding of the world, but a heart-centered knowing that life is about love, compassion, and connection. She knows that the most profound lessons come not from the mind but from the heart. She lives her life with an open heart, always willing to give, always willing to forgive, and always willing to see the best in others. Good luck. She understands that love is the most powerful force in the universe, and that it is through love that true transformation occurs. Her wisdom beyond her years also brings with it a sense of humility. She does not see herself as above others, nor does she seek to prove her worth. She understands that wisdom is not a badge of honor, but a gift that is meant to be shared. She does not hold her wisdom over others or use it to manipulate situations. Instead, she shares it freely, offering guidance when needed and listening with empathy when others seek counsel. She knows that everyone has their own unique path, and that her role is not to lead others down a specific path, but to encourage them to find their own way. This wisdom is not static, but ever evolving. A woman with wisdom beyond her years understands that there is always more to learn, that life is a continual journey of growth and discovery. She remains open to new experiences, new perspectives, and new understandings, knowing that true wisdom comes from the willingness to remain humble and curious. She is never fixed in her ways, but always open to the unfolding of life, ready to embrace each new chapter with grace and openness. The qualities we have explored: compassion, selflessness, inner strength, authenticity, and wisdom are not just abstract ideals. They are living, breathing expressions of the highest form of humanity. They are the foundation of a woman's presence in the world, each one intertwined and supporting the others, creating a life that is rich with meaning, purpose, and depth. These qualities are not about perfection, but about alignment with one's true essence, a commitment to living with integrity and a deep respect for the interconnectedness of all beings. A woman who embodies these traits does not seek to be extraordinary. She simply is, effortlessly, profoundly, and beautifully herself. And in doing so, she not only transforms her own life, but leaves a lasting impact on those around her, inspiring others to live more authentically, with more love, and with greater courage.